of Greater Flint's Neighborhood Small Grants Committee. I am Karma Lewis, the chair of the committee, and I serve as a member of the Community Foundation Board of Trustees. We are excited with the attendance this morning. And with the large number of people, we're going to share a few ground rules for this event. Please, everyone, mute yourselves and stay on mute. For those that are on the phone, press *6. Remember that, *6 to mute yourselves. If you have any questions, please enter them into the chat function. And please note that this event is being recorded. Please adjust your settings as you choose. It was 1 year ago that we all retreated into our homes, and this event was canceled due to the pandemic. I am happy to report. My phone's talking. Be quiet. I am happy to report that despite the interruption in our lives, our grantees stepped up and completed. They completed their grant applications in new and inventive ways with the focus on virtual events. The committee reviewed 40 proposals, and the total amount requested was $320,442. We approved 33 grants and funded $141,121 in grants awarded in 2020. In 2021, we look forward to awarding even more grants that focus on neighborhood improvement. Our hope for today is that you learn something new as we navigate through this 2-hour program. And at the end of the summit, you will feel prepared to move forward with applying for neighborhood smalls grants. And you will have the information you need to follow up. Now, I would like to introduce Isaiah Oliver, Community Foundation's President and CEO. Isaiah?
So I think Isaiah is still on his way to the office to pick up. So I'll just fill in, and when he does get there, we'll get his greetings, if that's all right, Karma.
That is great, yes.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you, Karma, so much. We love having you on the board and helping us be the liaison to this amazing group of folks. Seeing a lot of my favorite faces on the screen. Wanted to shout out all your names. And also just to say, yes, Karma, you did an amazing job last year. COVID can't stop neighborhoods, right? You guys did a great job. You got your proposals in and projects done. And the committee got through all those proposals. I didn't know how, but you guys pulled it off, and I'm impressed. But it's not really a surprise. We know how strong our neighborhoods are and how important they are to the work and to improving the quality of life in Flint. And the Community Foundation will only continue to support your efforts. We have a long-standing commitment, as you know, and we are very proud of being able to support the work, whether it's a park, beautification, MLK. We actually relied on you for the census last year. So there's no range of things that you can't help us with. And we want to continue to live into our promise to you. We also want to continue, for us, it's amplifying that authentic community voice in our grant making that only informs us to be a better grant maker and truly have impact on our work and within Flint. We know that you have the voice and the agency to help us understand and make good decisions. We also know that you can help us follow and have community problem-solving skills that we can't do alone. So now I'm going to introduce myself. No, I'm kidding. So I'm Sue Peters. I'm the Vice President of Community Impact. This is where I was really supposed to speak. And it is my honor and privilege to introduce Lynn Williams. And of course, as you can imagine, they did not give me enough time to talk about Miss Lynn Williams because there's so much I could say. As you know, she's been at the Community Foundation for over 20 years. We say now she's 21 and she can drink at work, but she really doesn't do that. But she has met 21 years at the foundation, and a lot of those years has been working on neighborhood small grants. So I know when you think of neighborhood small grants and neighborhoods, you think of Lynn. She gets the community. She lives in the community. I think she lives and breathes it. Whenever I need to know what's going on, I can always count on Lynn. This year, though, we are working to transition a little. We still have Lynn, so don't get too scared. But Lynn is really going to help us understand our equity work better and really lead us through that. So we are going to be working to transition some of this work to Damon Ross. And Damon can maybe wave. He's been an amazing addition to our team. When he first joined, he was in Texas, and I thought, who's this guy applying from Texas? Come to find out, he wanted to come back to Flint, and he has just as many cousins as Lynn, if not more. So he is very connected in Flint. He knows the neighborhoods as well, and he's excited to take on this role. So just know that this year, our goal is to not see many changes, but just know that this year we'll be getting Damon. Lynn will be helping Damon get up to speed. She'll always still be guiding us. So it won't be a seamless transition, but you'll be seeing Damon more as well. I also wanted to just thank our, make sure I commit, our trustees, our small grants committee, and then all of you. And I just want to thank all of you for your time, talent, and treasure is what we typically say. I think I just saw Isaiah jump on. So Isaiah, if you wanted to just say a few words, I kind of stole your lines and let them know that we're going to be transitioning and working with Damon. But if you wouldn't want to just share your words and then hand it off to Lynn, that would be great.
Good morning.
There he is.
Oh, I'm so sorry for being late. I thought it would be better if I ran into the office to do this, better lighting, and then I didn't even have a chance to check the lighting. So I'm excited about the opportunity to be with you all this morning. Again, as I'm sure Karma said, Karma, our trustee chairman of the Neighborhood Small Grants Committee, we're so thankful to Karma for all of the work that she put in. Back in, I would say 2014, we made a decision that we were going to ensure the chair of the Neighborhood Small Grants Committee was going to be on the board, and it took us a while to get there. But in 2017, Karma took over as chair of the Neighborhood Small Grants Committee, and she joined the Community Foundation of Greater Flint board, and she has been such an asset ever since that time. So thank you, Karma. She serves on a number of different committees, and I probably bug her all too often. But we love the commitment that she shares with the Community Foundation of Greater Flint board, with the Community Foundation of Greater Flint community, and all of the work that we do. So that said, I'm just excited about the opportunity to be here with you all this morning. It's always been said, Brian Stevenson said, there's power in proximity. But there's another good brother that would say that we need to get into some good trouble. And the only way you can get into good trouble is if you show up. And so the number of people that are on this call this morning is just a demonstration, if you will, if not just an example of what it means when Flint residents step up and say, listen, we're in control of what happens in our neighborhoods. We're in control of what happens in our community. We want to have a stake in the decisions that are made in our community. And we're in partnership with the Community Foundation of Greater Flint. And we are here in part to support the needs of community. We have 425,000 people across this county that we're hopeful to support. But today we're being thoughtful about the folks that live in the city of Flint proper, the folks who are marginalized the most, the history of redlining, the history of communities being separated. We understand that, and we understand our role in supporting that from an equity perspective. We've been thoughtful over the last few months about what our commitment is to equity, what it means to be thoughtful about how we engage in grant making and community leadership in those spaces. And we're looking forward to increasing our partnership and amplifying the voices of residents in authentic, and I say that capital A, authentic community engagement in the work that we're doing. That said, you've already heard from the amazing Sue Peters. So out of all 900 community foundations across the country, 1,600 all over the world, 52 in the state of Michigan, Sue Peters is the most amazing vice president of community impact you'll ever experience. Last year, 2020, Sue and her team facilitated the distribution of over 1,000 grants and scholarships, 1,000 grants, including scholarships, over $13.5 million in grants to over 240 organizations. And so I couldn't be more excited about the work that she's doing, but the team that she's assembled. Sue has been on our team at the Community Foundation for 5 years, 4 years as vice president. But since that time, she's brought on some amazing talent and joined some amazing talent. So you got Lynn Williams on one end, 21 years of experience. And then you got a new person who is so proximate to not only the problems, but quite frankly, the challenges and opportunities that exist in our community. And we're delighted to have him on the team. He started off doing work focused on access to healthy food. Now he's really doubling down into that commitment to neighborhoods. And I think it's my pleasure now. Sue is not doing it. Is it my pleasure to introduce Damon? My pleasure to introduce Mr. Damon Ross, Flint resident. Again, proximate to the problems, understanding both the opportunities and challenges, but also challenging the Community Foundation from the inside out to be thoughtful about how we move forward in this work. So Damon, I'm excited to introduce you today, and also thankful to you all for allowing me some opportunity to share our thoughts. Damon, you have the floor.
Thank you, Isaiah. I really appreciate that. After that glowing introduction by my vice president and president, I don't think there's really much left for me to say, other than I appreciate the opportunity. I see some familiar faces on the call. I'm really looking forward to getting engaged in this work and being a part of all the fantastic things that you do throughout the city. So again, thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with you all.
I think I will just jump in.
Go right ahead.
At this point, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, so Damon does have as many cousins as I do, and actually we end up sharing a couple of them. So that's good. I also wanted to just say good morning, everybody. I'm excited. This is really exciting. I can hardly contain my excitement at you all being here and us having a chance to gather again. It's been too long. And even though we can't be together in person, this is just awesome. I also wanted to do one more thing before I do what I'm really supposed to do, because I can never just do what I'm supposed to do. I always have to, shake it up a little bit. But I want to acknowledge somebody on this call who was, in my opinion, a truly unsung hero in this community. For as many years as I've been involved with Community Foundation, and probably many more than that, and that's just Raynetta Speak. Can we take a minute to acknowledge and recognize Raynetta Speak for she has been doing stuff in neighborhoods and championing our community forever. She's been my mentor, and my hat is always off to Raynetta. So she kind of helped set the stage too for where we are, because she served as a longtime chair of Neighborhood Small Grants too. Thank you, Raynetta, for everything. So now, showing us what to do. So now I just wanted to talk a couple minutes. We're going to have a panel discussion a little bit in a few minutes about partnerships. One of the advantages of being in the position that I have been for 21 years as program officer, and being able to look over not only applications, but to get to see projects and look at final reports, I have seen the increasing benefit when residents, when your groups, when you partner, you come together and leverage your efforts, partnering with each other and partnering with neighborhood anchors, institutions that have resources that they're willing to bring to help. It has made a tremendous difference in this community. So I want to just acknowledge that, and I'm excited about having the opportunity to highlight a few partnerships today. So on our panel today, we have Ashley.
I'm fishing with you guys.
Ashley Everhard from the Neighborhood Engagement Hub, and I think she may have a community partner with her. With Patrick Mcneill from North Flint NAC. Did I get that right? North Flint NAC Neighborhood Advisory Council? Okay.
Action Council.
Action Council. Oh, that's important. That is actually important. Neighborhood Action Council. They're not just talking. Okay. And then we have Samantha, forgive me if I mispronounce your last name. I think it's Cardenas from Keep Genesee County Beautiful, Genesee County Parks. So Joe Chapani, our vice chair of Neighborhood Small Grants, is going to moderate. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Joe. You got it.
Hey, thank you very much. And you know, I hope you guys get the chance to meet our three panelists if you haven't already, because they all three do such amazing work. The neighborhood engagement hub is such an asset, and to have Ashley Everhart there is just so amazing. She is an asset to the community in herself. Patrick McNeil and I go way back to his day at My Brother's Keeper when I did a lot of volunteer work with him, and seeing him grow and through his changes through there has been great also. And Samantha, with Keeping Genesee County Beautiful, you need resources, give her a call because they have so many resources for community cleanups and getting things done in the neighborhoods that they are, they are just amazing to work with. So those are your panelists. I would like to start with Ashley. And Ashley, will you tell us a little bit about your organization and what you do?
Yeah, you got it. So Joe, do you want me to just kind of talk a little bit about NEH, or do you want to talk about the project and partnership now, or hold off for this moment? Okay, you're on mute. So I'm going to start with just what NEH does, and then Joe, if you want me to do more, I'm more than happy to do that. I do have a couple of slides that I put together based on the questions that Lynn had shared with me. My name is Ashley Everhart. I'm the Executive Director of the Neighborhood Engagement Hub. The Neighborhood Engagement Hub provides support services to neighborhood groups all throughout the city of Flint, kind of like a consultant or an advisor. We have a community tool shed where community members can rent equipment for free or low cost. Unfortunately, we were not able to open last year because of COVID, but we are hoping that with numbers remaining relatively low that we will be able to open this season. And as well as kind of ongoing consultative support. So we have a workshop series called Neighbors Changing Flint, where we collaborate with a number of partners to kind of run the whole gamut from how to get a group started all the way through how to advocate and develop policy change. We help neighborhood groups develop action plans, write grants, and implement projects. And we also act as a fiscal sponsor for a number of organizations throughout the city.
That's wonderful. And Patrick McNeil, why don't we talk about your organization and your experiences and stuff?
First and foremost, Joe, it's always good to see you, and I want to just thank the Community Foundation for the opportunity to share a little bit about what we do. And so I'm just going to throw a couple of slides up and just give the quick introduction. And we have a tagline that we try to work with, and it's simply this: we have a knack for making a difference. The goal for us is that how do we help to raise the level of voice that comes from community. We were birthed out of the Building Neighborhood Capacity Program, where community decided that they wanted to continue to have a voice and move things forward in the far north portion of Flint with what's going on. So we do this through our simple mission. The North Flint Neighborhood Action Council exists to address issues related to safety, education, communication, housing, and beautification by bringing together block clubs, neighborhood associations, and organizations to develop responses for North Flint to enhance the quality of life for all. So that's what we are and who we are and what we seek to do in North Flint. If you want to know, we're a convener of block clubs, neighborhood groups, and civic organizations who focus primarily from Pearson Road to the south, Clio Road to the west, Carpenter Road to the north, and the river to the east. We do this in conjunction with our anchor partners, which are Our Savior Lutheran, Wild Outreach, Habitat for Humanity, Hamilton Community Health Network, and I saw the Right Reverend Reginald Flynn on this call, the North Flint Reinvestment Corporation, and they're not last. They're just listed that way. And so we do this so we bring people together. So we're a convener of groups to try to raise up germane thoughts for each and every one. We help block clubs and neighborhood associations with planning, and fund development, as well as we do some limited fiscal sponsorship. We gather data about North Flint, specifically about North Flint, because we want to be able to speak to people not only from our anecdotal voice, but also with data. We also have begun to deal with race, racism, and radical change in collaboration with Community Roots. I'm grateful for the Community Foundation for their sponsorship there. And finally, if I could sum everything up in one sentence, it would be this: we simply seek to give voice to the voiceless and audibility to the hearing impaired.
Now, Patrick, we have a question. Do you guys do anything with the South Side?
We sorry that those folks had to go to Southwestern, but no, here's what we do. We will work with any group, regardless of location, but our specific charge is to North Flint. Because our goal is just to help people to grow and to do what they need to do. So if we can help you start a block club, start a neighborhood association, try to attach you to funding, help you if it amends itself, it can. But our focus is North Flint.
All right. Thank. Our next person we're going to introduce, if you want to take the full screen down, Patrick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're going to introduce Samantha from Keep Genesee County Beautiful, and she's going to tell a little bit about what they do.
Good morning. I'm Samantha. I'm one of the program coordinators at Keep Genesee County Beautiful. We have two specific programs, Cultivating Our Community, which is the one that I coordinate with my friend Diana. And then we have an Adopt a Park program. And so what both programs do, we work with citizens of Flint to provide resources so that they can maintain traffic triangles and neighborhood entries, and then as well as the parks. We've actually installed quite a few playgrounds, and the volunteers, the adopters, they create programs in the parks so that more kids can use the parks, and we help with grants so that the people who adopt the parks are able to provide activities for kids and provide meals for kids during the during the summertime. And we've installed some Monarch way stations. We just try to do what we can to help keep Flint beautiful. And we also provide resources for community cleanups.
Thank you, Samantha. Well, next we're going to talk about some partnerships, and we're going to bring Ashley along. She's got a little slide for us to show us. So I'll let you have the floor, Ashley.
Great, thank you, Joe. Let me just get my slide deck set up here. All right. So as I said, I'm Ashley Everhart, Executive Director of Neighborhood Engagement Hub. I'm also joined today by Daisy Prim. Daisy is the president of the Flint Residents Organized for Good Neighborhood Association. Daisy, do you want to unmute yourself and say hi? All right, Daisy, feel free to jump in on me whenever you're ready. NEH provides fiscal sponsorship and ongoing neighborhood support services to a number of groups in the city. The Frog Neighborhood Association's boundaries are Clio to the west, DuPont to the east, Pearson to the north, and Stewart to the south. Just got a little map here. In 2019, Frog worked with NEH to apply for grant funds from the Community Foundation, $1,000 for porch lights and driveway motion detector lights. And then in 2020 for $5,000 for sidewalk repairs and replacement. Got a few photos of some of those projects. And Daisy, at any point, or I see Earth on here as well, if either of you want to jump on and talk about these projects, feel free to.
Okay, now the one you just showed, There'd never been any sidewalks from Mcneill to Fleming Road that connect up to the playground. And so last summer, we was able to put sidewalk from Mcneill to Fleming Road. And people enjoying walking up there because it was always just grass. They had to walk in the street. And so we was proud to put that up there. And we did some solar lights for the for some of the residents. They had dark area. We had the post lights. We even put some post lights up. Those are motion detectors on the outside. You don't have the post lights.
No, I just have the lights on the houses and the sidewalk.
It was a handicapped child here, and the sidewalk was just all buckled up, and we managed to put sidewalks. We put in the sidewalks that had the most damage, and so this year we hoping that we can get more grant money so we can start phase 2 with the sidewalks.
So just to provide some context for the partnership that we have with FROG, NEH supported group formation of the neighborhood association, facilitated some of the first meetings. We support FROG in annual action planning, so establishing some strategies for the different projects that FROG wants to work on in any given year, and then support grant development and act as a fiduciary. Daisy, is there anything that you want to add here?
I was just glad that we had NEH to help us out, especially with the first year, because I didn't know anything about working with a group, and you and Holly really helped us out. And I have to throw John in there because they helped us out with the grant, you know, writing the grant, and I really appreciate that because I didn't know nothing, and I'm still learning, still learning, and then I have to throw my hat out to Patrick because he helped us too, implementing some of the things that we ran into a problem with COVID this summer, and so I'm happy, you know, that we had Nat to help us out, and he had brought on some young men to help us out, and that really came in. I mean, it really helped us out.
And then Daisy, do you want to talk about some of the advantages and challenges we had discussed?
With the advantage, like I said, with the grant writing, it was good to have you and John, and we did have Amy for a short while to help us out, you know, to make sure we stayed on track with the grant and make sure we was writing it up right. And like the challenge was, it was the COVID and stuff because nobody knew a whole lot about it, you know, and it kind of kept people in and kept us in, but we managed to work around it and stuff. But like I said, we had some other partners that came in there to help us out, and that was a good thing. And everybody should, I don't know, like I said, everybody should have more partners to help them out when they run into problems. Like if something you don't know, you should be able to go to the other partners in the group, you know, to help us out.
Great, thanks, Daisy. I'm going to stop my share now.
Thank you, Ashley. And Samantha, would you like to talk about advantages of partnerships a little bit?
Yes, and I also have a couple of pictures to show for some of the projects we've worked on. One of the things that I've learned is to always network and partnership. And everywhere we go, we just try to talk to people and meet them and see who they are and what they do, what they're good at, so that we could all work together to make things get done faster. Sometimes not always as fast as we would like, but it's good when we all share each other's like if I know what you're good at, then I'm gonna go ask you for help with that. And so, oh, okay, now I could share. At first I couldn't share. So this is one of the, so we partnered with King Avenue Plus Group and the Flint Public Art Project. And so Kevin Burdick, you know, one of Flint's artists, was able to paint this mural through a grant from Keep America Beautiful and partnership with the Flint Public Art Project. And so, you know, one of the advantages of working with multiple groups is that everyone had some input. Everybody got to experience this. It makes the neighborhood look better. A couple of the other things, I'm sorry, Joe, I don't know which artist painted these boxes, but I know it was through the Flint Public Art Project.
His name is Michael Lynn.
Okay, yes. And so we wanted some boxes painted, and we, I believe Nancy spoke to Joe, and we were able to get these done, and it just looks really great. Some of the, another project that we worked on was with the Flint Farmers Market. I forget her name, but the manager of the farmers market had spoke to my partner Diana and said, we have all of this space in the front. I don't really like the way it looks. Can you help us out? And so in partnership with her, we were able to get some funds and use our creativity to create these themed gardens. And we were also able to get some community members to care for these gardens. And we noticed last summer that a lot of people who came to the markets were just like admiring them and thinking that they were really cool. And so I think it just like brings some happiness, and a lot of different people were able to use their skills. And then these packages right here, that was through the community foundation, working with them. And so we received a grant from them, and we were able to provide these kits to a bunch of different neighborhood groups. And so with COVID happening and not knowing, kids not having a lot to do because of social distancing, we provided these kits so at least they could play outside in their front yard. Or so I think that the advantages of partnering with people is that we accomplish a lot more than if we try to do it by ourselves. And that's all I have for the pictures.
Wonderful, thank you. Patrick, how about we have you touch on some of the challenges? So like, you're on mute, Patrick.
You have to forgive me. Me and Mute get along real good sometimes. As we begin to look at the challenges of what happens, I wanted to have the opportunity to bring Miss Jeanette Edwards, who is a beacon of light in North Flint, for the work she did, starting a block club from zero, to having one of the largest block clubs in the city with over 60 people, active people. These ain't fake numbers. These legit numbers. And also, you know, I always want to be mindful that if it were not for the support of the Ruth Mott Foundation, there would be no NAC. So shout out to Rachel T, Rachel R, and the best darn program officer who worked there, Elizabeth. So I had to put that out there and make sure I let my friends know that I'm appreciative of you. So Miss Jeanette, are you open?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Miss Jeanette, yes, we can hear you. Miss Jeanette, can you do me a favor and tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you had when you were trying to put together the work for the Mary McLeod Bethune Reading Library.
First of all, I want to thank Community Foundation for always being a partner. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start it. I knew what I wanted in my head, but I didn't know how to put it on paper. So I had some very good partners that led me in the right way to do it. The kids in our area are very low in their reading scores, and in school they don't have enough time to just sit down and relax reading a book, and that's what I wanted for them.
And you did an outstanding job of it. If I could, let me see if I can do this real fast. You can see some of the pictures. You know, there's nothing like a winter picture just to remind you where we left from to where we're going. And as you can see, with the help of the Community Foundation and that plan that Ms. Jeanette got out of her head and put on a piece of paper, we were able to put some seating in the park. We were able to do some solar lighting around the park so that it can be used, but it turns down, so it's real low during the day. But when there's activity, it brightens up, and really, it's just become a beacon in the neighborhood for the library, for kids to take a book and leave a book. If they need to keep the book, it's theirs to have. And so, for all those partners who always make sure that Ms. Jeanette has books when there are none there, and for those partners who are sensitive enough to make sure that our kids have books that look like the people who live in the community, we thankful for that. And Ms. Jeanette, what else would you want us to know about why is reading so important and why is this such a challenge in North Flint?
First of all, if a person can't read, he's always handicapped and left behind. And so I was one of those children who couldn't read up until I was like about 18. I could read the words, but I didn't understand it. And that's part of reading. So in North Flint, the children they just don't have the opportunities to get to nice books, especially books like them. And not only, I want everyone to know, not only are children utilizing the library, we're having senior citizens. We was able to get the gate open up between the park and the senior citizen. And we've had more senior citizens over there this year than any year since it's been open. If, the children, they have trouble when they can't read. People laugh at them, people cheat them, even into their adulthood. We had a girl that come to the library this summer, and nobody had never gave her a book since she was a little girl. And when I told her that she could keep a book, she said, "Can I have two?" I said, "As many as you want, honey." So all summer I seen her coming along. And this is a older woman, like 38 years old. And nobody had just never put a book in her hand. And I almost started crying because I was so filled with gratitude to all the partners for helping me create this library.
Thank you, Ms. Jeanette. Joe, back to you.
All right. Well, since we're talking about books and talking about partnerships, I want to introduce a book that I read. And when I read it, I just kept hearing Lynn's voice, because so many things in this book were things Lynn has told me over the years is who, not how. So who do we bring at the table, not how do I get it done? It was a very good book. And like I said, the whole time I read it, it's by Dan Sullivan, I heard Lynn. All the things Lynn has taught me over the years. Because the first question when I come to Lynn with how do I do this project? He's like, well, who do we bring to the table? Who do we do that? So it's a very powerful book on partnerships and helping changing the way you think. And so with that, as the monitor, that's my advice for the group. Does anybody else on the panel have any advice they want to give to the group?
I'll go ahead and jump in, Joe. One of the things I want to tell everybody is that believe in your gut. Your gut, you have the best view of your vantage point, right? Your community and what the needs are. Don't expect someone else to know more about your community than you. I know that there are things that you can get help with, language that you may need to learn to write proposals and different things. But as far as the heartbeat of the community, that's what you bring. That's the viewpoint that you bring, and that's what more communities need. Is they need your heartbeat. They need to hear your point of view. They need to be able to see what you feel, and so that the empathy to support the work you're doing is there. So I'm here to let you know I believe in you, and just remember, nothing about us without us.
Thank you, Patrick. Ashley, you got any advice you want to share on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think anytime that you're working with a partner, especially if it's an agency, and especially if it relates to any grant, so any fiscal sponsorship relationship you have with anybody, make sure that you have a strong relationship going into that grant and that you've taken the time to build trust in that partnership. Always make sure that the agency that's supporting you is providing you with a clear written agreement, especially as it relates to your dollars. If you're going after grant funding, make sure that your fiscal sponsor is providing you with clear guidance of how you get access to your funds before you get that grant, so that you're clear on their process. Because the last thing you need is to have to navigate somebody else's process after the funds are already in. So just make sure that the partners that you have are being upfront with you and are describing their process and sharing that out with you from the very beginning. I think Daisy also had a couple of things that she wanted to share as well.
Right now, with the, Frog is a small group. And I am so glad I had Eartha and Vivian to help me out, because like I said, this is something we first started. I still a lot of things I didn't know, and I'm still learning. And I look at Eartha and Vivian as my backbone. And stuff, because we bounce out, ideas to one another, and it works out. And but we should, like we said, with Nat and you, Ashley, and the Flint brand, y'all really helped us out, because it was a lot of things, we didn't know. We had to keep going back over to make sure we got it right. And the vision that we had was about those sidewalks. We was determined we was going to get that from on Fleming Road done, and we stuck with it, and it worked out. And I'm just glad we had the people to help us out.
Thank you, Daisy. Samantha, do you have any words of wisdom you want to pass on?
Well, I agree with what Patrick, Ashley, and Miss Daisy have said. I'm a little bit more green than they are when it comes to this area, and I'm still newer to Flint. But if you have an idea, share the idea. Maybe you don't have it all figured out yet, but you could find people who can, you can throw your ideas back and forth from, and ask people for help. And if the first person you ask isn't going to help you, ask somebody else. And as far as Keep Genesee County Beautiful, if you guys have any ideas, we are always willing to help you find the grants, help you figure out where to go. If we aren't able to do it, we'll probably know somebody else that can do it, and we'll try to guide you into the right person to find to help you with what you want to get.
Thank you, Samantha. And just to remind everybody, there is a ton of resources on this Zoom chat. Every one of you can bring something to the table. I've worked with so many of you, everybody on this in this group, and it's always great. And you know, Samantha showed the MLK mural, and that mural wouldn't have been so great and so powerful if it wasn't for the community input. Doing the workshops with the neighborhoods and all these things. And like I tell everybody when they ask me what we should put on a wall, it's I don't live in your neighborhood. I live in my neighborhood. I know what I want to see in the wall in my neighborhood. I don't know what you want to see in yours. So you tell me what you want. I don't want to tell you what you should have. With that, I'm going to turn it over to somebody that I've had the privilege to work with over the last year. And since he started back with Community Foundation, and it's been great getting to know him. And I'm excited to start working with him on neighborhood small grants because we've worked together with the Flint Leverage Points Project. And which, you know, kind of put that little plug in there too, because I do wear multiple hats. So anybody that wants to help out on food research, we're studying the food system here in Flint and trying to figure out the leverage points to help create access to healthier foods. And I've been working with David on that since he started at the Community Foundation. And it's been great getting to know him. He's a great asset to the community, and he's great to add onto this call. And I'm going to turn it over to him.
I appreciate that. That's the third fantastic introduction I've had today. I really don't know how to follow this up, so I'll just go with the agenda. I wanted to take some time to just discuss the grant opportunities, the application process, deadline, just some of the specifics around the Neighborhood Small Grants Program and the grant cycle this year, 2021. As most of you know who are on the call, the Neighborhood Small Grants Program was created to support not just established, but also emerging citizen-based groups or organizations as they develop projects that address pressing issues in the neighborhoods, build alliances with community institutions, and then also enhance community-based leadership. That's a theme that's been present throughout this call today. And that is the foundation of the Neighborhood Small Grants Program. It's accomplished through 4 tiers of grant making. So specifically, the grant making tiers are traditional mini grants, which is up to $1,000 for projects that support community building or engagement. So that would be your neighborhood cleanups, that would be a block party, crime watch efforts, a newsletter, small community gardens, those sorts of efforts. We also have next level mini grants that's up to $5,000. That's awarded to larger, more comprehensive community projects that are driven by neighborhood surveys or focus groups, community dialogue, and those next level mini grants actually are used to leverage other funds and resources that bring about the desired outcome. So that's something that you would use to supplement other funding sources that you've secured. We also have the neighborhood arts mini grants. That again is up to $5,000, but that's for projects that stimulate civic engagement and neighborhood pride. So if you had neighborhood art projects or events, celebrations for your neighborhood, that sort of thing, that would be allocated from the neighborhood arts mini grants. And then the transformational grants, which are much larger, that's up to $25,000. And that is for a project that improves the condition of a Flint neighborhood. So right in the name, it's a transformational grant. So if you had a vacant lot or if you had blight that you want to tackle, any outdoor public space that you can transform from, like I said, blight or vacancy to a well-maintained community gathering space, that's what those transformational grants are dedicated to. As far as the application process, it's relatively simple. A downloadable version of the application is available on our website, cfgf.org. If you click on grant making at the top and then Flint neighborhoods, it'll take you to that page. You just ignore the terrible picture of me, scroll down and click grant application. You can complete that grant application and either email it to nsgp@cfgf.org, or there's a locked drop box in the lobby of our office. You can drop that application there. And there'll also be some blank applications in the lobby if you wanted to complete that application by hand. If you do that, though, just make sure that you print the application and that your handwriting is legible. We don't want to miss any specifics when reviewing the applications. Those applications must be submitted by Wednesday, March 31st at 5 p.m. That's the deadline. Wednesday, March 31st at 5 p.m. And then prior to that deadline, we're going to conduct 2 technical assistance workshops where we'll go in depth a little more about the different tiers of grant making, the guidelines, and then the application as well. So Tuesday, March 16th from 3 to 4:30, and then Thursday, March 25th from 5:30 to 7. So Tuesday, March 16th from 3 to 4:30, Thursday, March 25th from 5 to 7:30, we'll have those technical assistance workshops to go over the application. You can register at cfgf.org, and both of those sessions will be held virtually, just like we're doing today. Lastly, the Community Foundation has a YouTube channel, so all of what we're discussing today, this event is going to be recorded and posted there for review. So in case you missed anything or you need to hear something again, it'll be there posted on the YouTube channel. That's all I have for now. I'll pass it on to Lynn Williams.
Thanks, Damon. Man, you nailed that. You got everything. I don't even think it's much left that I need to say other than one of the advantages with the shift that I'm making into work around equity, racial equity, truth, racial healing, and transformation is that I get to bridge it back over to neighborhoods. I see a lot of the issues that we deal with as a community, as a country, as a society are played out very clearly in our neighborhoods. So for that reason, we have a new category in our funding streams this year, and that is focused on grants related to racial healing. They can be racial healing circles. We have volunteers in our community that have been trained to carry out racial healing circles and community dialogues to help talk about the differences in neighborhoods and bridge gaps, as well as even just having neighborhood exchanges. Those are some of the ideas. Things that will bridge gaps and help bring us together as a community. So I'm excited about that. And I believe I had one more thing I was supposed to say, Damon, and I can't look at my notes and do this at the same time, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know what it is. I want to give a big shout out to our funding partners that have been with us, helping us, supporting us, without whom we wouldn't be able to do this. So there's Ruth Mott Foundation that has really been, they have been supporting neighborhood small grants program, especially around the technical assistance and around the improving outcomes, improving neighborhoods and community engagement areas since I think 2010 or 9, maybe even. So big shout out for them continuing to be a funding partner for us in that. And then also the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation. So not only did they give us the original funding that helped us to create the endowment fund for neighborhood small grants, in the last 3 years, they have provided some additional funding with a focus on arts in neighborhoods. So don't forget, we've got funding for arts in neighborhoods, things like festivals or art events. It could be physical art, it could be art classes, it could be. And this year, I want to stress, because we don't know where things are going or how changes may happen with regard to COVID and social distancing. Wanting to stress within all the categories, social distancing is still a concern, and particularly in the arts, there's the option of thinking of maybe even creating virtual programs. So that will be considered as well. And so that's all I have, I believe. And with that,
Hey, Lynn, real quick, I saw a hand that got raised
okay,
by the name of the iPhone. So I don't know if we're
okay.
doing that right now, but
So someone had a question. Okay. Yes.
Doing, Miss Lynn?
How you doing?
Good. I was just backtracking when you said about the arts. Does the arts include music?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the goal was, so if you have a history in Flint, you know that for years there have been lots of artistic type things that happen downtown,
Yeah.
festivals and that type of thing. And the goal was to help neighborhoods have some resources to do some of that kind of thing in their own neighborhoods as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I think I'm turning it over to, who am I turning it over to? Damon? I think I'm turning it back to you, or is it me? No, actually,
No,
it's me, isn't it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got my
You're driving. You're still driving. You're
I'm
driving.
looking at things on my phone, so you guys, I don't technology and multitasking and me. I'm getting better, but hey. So we wanted to at this time just take a couple of minutes and have you complete a poll for us. This is a community engagement poll. And it's pretty simple. I'm gonna ask for Alex to help. Alex, if you could really kind of walk us through what we need to do. I know you'll do a much better job of that than I. So I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Dawson. I'm a program officer at the Community Foundation. Wow, that is a mouthful. I just need you all to go to the link at the top. Okay, I'm sorry if you hear a dog in the background. I've got a little puppy under my feet. Go to the link at the top of the screen. I believe it's www.minty.com, and then enter that code. And you can do that on your phone or you can do that on your computer. And I'm going to also put that information in the chat as well. And I'm watching the gallery. If you guys can just like shake your head if you've gotten there or you understand. Okay, I see a couple thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Okay, I see more thumbs up. All right, great. So we are going to start this now. All right, let me exit. For some reason, it's not going to the next slide. I'm just going to go this way. All right. So our first question, yes.
Someone says the link isn't working for them.
The link isn't working for them?
Is there another way for them to access it?
No, there is not. Are you trying it in your web browser or on your phone? Mark. It doesn't, they're not responding.
I guess I could have answered, I'm sorry. Web browser.
Okay, so yeah, the link is not live in the chat. So you'll have to copy it and post it into your web browser.
I can't, how do I get to my web browser? The screen's taking up everything. I can't.
If you hit escape.
Oh, escape, okay.
Yep, and that should take it from full screen. And then you should be able to go to your browser and just type it in.
There it is, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Is anyone else having any issues? Okay. All right, so our first question here will be, please tell me if any member of your household has been involved in a meeting of a Black club or neighborhood group. And if you'll just hit yes or no, we should be able to see some live results here.
Alex, a few people. Oh, okay, they got it now. All right, never mind.
Yeah, I can't see the chat when this is large, so thanks, Lynn.
Lynn, I think it seemed frozen because she hadn't prompted the first question yet. Once the question prompts, then it'll start moving on your phones or in your browsers.
All right, it says here we have 41 people that have answered. I believe there's 83 of us on. And so you can move at your own pace. So if I do move forward and you're still answering the question, that's completely fine. All right, I'm going to push us to the second question. Our second question states, do you have a leadership position formal in a neighborhood group, block club, PTA, etc.? It's pretty even here. All right, we have about half of you that have answered the question. Okay, I'm going to move on to our third question here. In the past 12 months, has anyone in your household been involved in a neighborhood cleanup, beautification project, or a community garden project? It looks like a lot of you are really involved in cleanup projects in your neighborhoods. That's awesome. All right.
So Alex is the person, Wendy Overton, who's having a challenge navigating this, she says.
Okay. What exactly is the challenge, Wendy? Is she still on the call?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not computer savvy.
Okay.
I'm really having a hard time finding. I've clicked to the top and I can't find this. I can see what you're doing, but it won't give me to get into it. I don't see where I'm even supposed to get into it, is what I'm saying. I guess I'm having a
Are you
hard time
using
with
your No, you're fine. It's okay. Are you using your phone or your computer?
I'm using my computer.
Okay. You should be able to enter a code. You have to enter, I'll type the code back in the chat. This code in order to access the poll. 51466198.
Okay. Okay, but okay, so I have to go. Am I going out of the Zoom in order to do?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's what I was.
No, it's fine. If you hit escape on your computer, because I know it's probably full screen right now, if you hit escape, you'll be able to access your browser, and then you'll want to go to www.menti.com, and then you'll type in this code.
Okay. All right. Now I'm with you. Let me just catch up then. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And Ella, I can answer your question as well. You'll know if your response is registered or not because it'll push you to the next question. Hopefully that's helpful. It's
Alex, it also might be helpful, you know, when they get to the box where they need to enter the number, they've got fake numbers in there and you just type the number that you've been given.
Thank you, Becky. That is really helpful. Okay, I'm going to move on to our next question.
And Alex, before you move on, Ashley said that if it's easier, she can help folks get to Menti over the phone.
I was going to say
thank you,
that,
Ashley.
and if you can type in the chat, someone from the CFGF staff will start to work one-on-one in direct message with folks who are having challenges.
Thank you, staff. You guys are great.
Okay, thanks.
So in the past 12 months, have you volunteered at a program at a local school, church, or other institution to improve conditions in your neighborhood? It's just a yes or no question, as we've been doing. And it looks like most of you, of course, are very involved. And don't worry if you haven't caught up to us just yet, you can still take the poll even if we move on to another segment of the program. Oh, ignore that red line. I don't even know how I did that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next one. And that is all. That will be our last question. Thank you so much. Again, if you were not able to actively participate with us, you can still continue and do this on your own. I believe the instructions are still in the chat. If you do need some help with that, feel free to just send me a personal chat or anyone else who works at CFGF, and I will send it back to Lynn.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Damon right now for our next segment.
Yeah, so I believe the next segment we're going to have is our marketplace activity. So what's going to happen is we're going to break out into 3 different rooms, maybe 2, but we're going to break out into different rooms, and there will be a prompt when we get into the room. So I won't go too much into it right now. I guess we can just start that process of segmenting us out into the breakout rooms.
Man, y'all quiet.
Yeah, that's scary. Especially then.
Well, I was trying to figure out where we are.
Where's next?
Where am I? Where am I? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Renetta. I saw you somewhere. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while.
So we have done. Okay.
Yeah.
I think most everybody is back, or quite a few of us are back. I would like to jump in now. I don't know if I'm supposed to be the one handing this over, but I think I'll do it anyway. Oh, yeah, it is me. I want to ask John Gwynn from Habitat for Humanity. He has a couple of announcements, information to share that we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to hear about. So, John, are you still here? Oh, there you are. I see you. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So we have a couple things going on right now. As some of you already know, the Flint brand project is underway right now. If you want some more details, I'll give you a brief interview right now. But if you need any additional details, I'll put my email address in the chat, or you can reach out to Lynn. She's got my contact information. If you have any specific questions about that, and you can also visit our website. But the brand program is it's specifically designed for for neighborhood, not necessarily small, but neighborhood groups, grassroots organizations, block clubs, park adopters, anyone that does not have a 501c3 designation that is able to apply for grants through community foundation or other entities for funding. This is kind of an open funding for up to $10,000 for beautification in your neighborhood on a project that you'd like to work on. So those grants they're very competitive. I've overseen the program this past year and this year coming up now. And we've been able to do 14 projects each of those years. So, and I know that it's had quite a bit of past before I was included with it. But if you have any specific questions about how to access that funding, what you might need, who is eligible, feel free to contact me. That'd be great. I'd love to talk to you about it. The other program that we have right now is another program that I manage in the home repair department at Habitat. That's the Flint Home Improvement Fund. We have a specific website for that. If you want to look at the eligibility and the program information for that, I'll include that in the chat as well. But very basically, we're partnering with Huntington and a lot of entities downtown in the Flint area with funding for home repair, a little bit differently than we normally do it. So some of you may know we already have an established home repair program at Habitat. However, this one is much more open to just about anything that you would like to have done in your home, whereas our critical home repair program would have addressed needed issues, issues of health and safety. But with this program, it's open to do just about whatever you'd like to do. However, it works a little bit different with the funding as well. In the past, we've done a 3% total project cost that the homeowner is responsible for. This program is a loan program where, based on your income, you'd be responsible for a portion of the repayment on that loan. So there's a sliding scale of repayment based on where your income falls, and that would determine the amount that you would have to repay percentage-wise. Lynn, did you want to do a Q&A here for these programs?
We have I think we have a minute or two. We can take 1 or 2 questions if there are.
Also, thanks, Ashley. Ashley's put the Home Improvement Fund link in the chat already. That's for the home repair program, if anyone wants to click that link and take a look at that. I'm sorry, go ahead, Lynn.
So if there is 1 or 2 questions on this, raise your hand. And I can see everybody. Wendy.
Yes, John, is that home improvement for City of Flint residents, or is it, does it include the township, or, is it just for the City of Flint?
So the projects that we're going to fund right now with the funding that we have is City of Flint only. However, I did mention that we are partnering with Huntington Bank. They're going to have a similar program with a low interest rate. And that's open, obviously, to anyone that's outside of the City of Flint, I believe. So if we come across someone that lives outside of the City of Flint or exceeds the income qualifications for the program that we have right now, we're making referrals to Huntington to talk about their low interest products. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Listen, I want to say to everybody, this has been amazing. It's always amazing. I mean, when we were meeting in person, it was amazing. And this has been equally as amazing of an experience to me. We are working hard and we have volunteers helping us. Thank you for the volunteers. Thank you. We've got student interns. I've got colleagues from the foundation and from the community. I just want to say thank you to everybody for everything you've done to help make this an amazing event. And I wanted to see whether Isaiah or Sue had anything else they wanted to say before we wrap up.
And then I saw one hand.
Yeah,
by
Chris has his hand up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one question. I note that normally when I'm on these Zoom sessions, you can save the chat, but I don't seem to have that option. Are you going to send out a link to the chat so we can kind of take notes, that sort of thing?
I'm gonna ask Moses to respond
or
to that.
Alex.
Yeah, maybe Alex can help us with that. I mean, the intent of the breakout sessions that we did have that we want to, and that's why we're asking everyone to announce their organization. We want to provide that information. And so we're working on that. And so Alex, if we can save in the feature, save the chat.
Yep, the chat will be saved and we can definitely facilitate getting that out to everyone.
Great, thank you so much.
Great, beautiful.
Thanks, Chris. Isaiah or Sue?
Yeah, well, I'll jump in. I just shout out to Miss Daisy, because for me, yes, this has been amazing. I always think, oh, I'm just going to do my introductory comments and then not stay. But the energy is just contagious. And I'm just so excited. You guys are just doing the great work. But what really stuck out for me is when Miss Daisy said, I knew I had an idea, but I didn't know how to get started. That's what we want this program to be, right? Is we want those ideas from residents to become reality. And to see the pictures then that Miss Daisy had of, you know, the lights and that it actually came to fruition. That's what it's about, right? Hearing from you, getting your ideas and making them come true. So looking forward to that. And thank you for sharing that story. And then Isaiah, if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll just say one, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for showing up. Earlier I said John Lewis would say it's important for us to get into some good trouble. But before you can get into good trouble, you have to show up. And so you all did that this morning. And so I'm thankful to you all for doing that. I do want to say thank you to Miss Raynetta Speed. I also have to say thank you to Karma Lewis, those leaders who have not only showed up in the neighborhoods, but quite frankly, are helpful in guiding the work the Community Foundation is doing in the day-to-day. And so thank you all. I'm not going to go through the process of saying names because I'm going to completely mess up, but I see so many familiar faces. I miss being able to give hugs and daps and really be proximate with folks. And so this is our opportunity to do that. And so thank you to Lynn and Damon and Moses and Sue and Alex and Mary Jo and the folks at the Community Foundation who've really done the heavy lift of making sure this is possible. And I started saying names and I should not have. I will see you all the next round. But again, we truly appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I have one last thing before you jump off. One last thing to ask of you. If you can, in your chat, put one word that describes this event, this day, this event for you. Just one word in the chat. Wow, awesome. I see some awesome responses. Hey, Alex, can this show up as a word cloud?
So I'm going to create the word cloud from the words that you all have submitted, and we can send that out with the additional information that was requested.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Wonderful. I love word clouds.
Okay. Well, thank you all for sharing your time with us, your valuable time. And we greatly appreciate it. And we are much informed and excited and ready to go out and do some good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Stay safe.
Have a great Saturday. God bless everyone.
Peace and blessings.
Mm-hmm.